What the hell?
It's a gun often carried by law enforcement. What some say can fire without pulling the trigger.
I don't know what happened. I never touched my gun.
Tonight, 9 investigates the gun under fire as a Florida lawmaker calls for police to drop the weapon. Several police agencies across the country have stopped carrying the SIG Sauer P320 because of safety concerns.
Investigative reporter Ashlyn Webb has learned some officers in Central Florida still carry it despite the controversy. Ashlyn?
SIG Sauer has consistently denied the gun is defective, blaming the dozens of reported incidents on user error or a lack of understanding of the gun's vulnerabilities. Yet the company has settled lawsuits with officers for millions of dollars. One former deputy told us this gun changed her life forever.
Mind-blowing. Like, never in a million years I think that's something that's possible until that moment.
Marcy Vadnais says the career she loved abruptly ended in 2018. She was sitting in her patrol car, removing her holstered gun from her belt.
As I rotated it, it fired straight into my femur.
Marcy says she never touched the trigger.
Where I was holding it was down where like the muzzle would be in the holster.
She spent close to a month in the hospital, and even after 4 surgeries says her strength will never be the same. On hot days, she's reminded that bullet fragments remain lodged in her bone.
It'll look like cigarette burns on my leg as the shrapnel heats up.
9 investigates found more than 100 lawsuits filed in 22 states relating to SIG Sauer P320s firing unintentionally.
What the hell?
Who's the cop that body slammed me?
Oh, what the f is that? I got my gun off.
A Wyoming man made this viral video showing how it could happen. Washington State prohibited use of the P320 during officer training out of an abundance of caution after a gun fired without a trigger pull during training last year. And just last month, New Jersey's Attorney General filed a lawsuit seeking a recall of all P320s in the state and a permanent ban on their sale.
It makes 0 sense to me why you would not just halt production. Let's do a deep dive into this.
9 investigates contacted more than 40 law enforcement agencies across Central Florida. 5 confirmed their officers still carry the SIG Sauer P320s. The Seminole County Sheriff's Office and Sanford Police told us they're phasing out the weapon. Police in Orlando and St. Cloud wouldn't say if they're considering replacing the gun, but said they've had no problems with it. And Leesburg police said officers will continue to carry the gun, saying there's not enough evidence of a defect.
And you're going to tell me that men and women who live and die by the gun are shooting themselves all over the United States by accident, but only with the SIG P320?
State Representative Danny Alvarez wants all Florida law enforcement agencies to stop carrying the gun. He cites this 2024 report from the FBI's Ballistic Research Facility, which tested the military version of the P320. Out of 50 tests under mechanical stress, the holstered gun fired 9 times without the trigger being pulled.
The answer is we don't know why it's going off. But until we get there, I'm not willing to risk any cop's life.
Phil Strader is SIG Sauer's Vice President of Consumer Affairs.
Everyone says their finger wasn't on the trigger. From a P320 standpoint, it's not possible.
He says in the FBI study, the agency cut away part of the gun slide to show the gun's inner workings, which took away from the integrity of the test. He says their test techniques also disengaged all the gun's normal safeties.
Suscepting it to an amount of G-forces that aren't physically possible in a realistic situation.
Strader points out the police agency that requested the FBI study started using the gun again after the investigation. He says many cases of unintentional discharges go back to a user's lack of understanding of the gun's vulnerabilities.
You have keys or whatever hanging off the right side of your body, and you're constantly moving your holster and belt around obstacles like this. You're not being aware.
Marcy says when her gun fired, her hand nor any object was near the trigger. She's not allowed to say how much SIG Sauer paid her to settle her lawsuit, but she hopes chiefs across the country learn from her story.
You got all your officers, their wives, their husbands, all their kids that are depending on you to keep them safe while they're protecting citizens. And it's not worth it having a gun that's a what if.
SIG Sauer claims many of these accusations are from anti-gun groups, speaking mainly towards lawyers representing officers. Marcy wanted to make clear she is not anti-gun. In fact, she carries one all the time. SIG Sauer has offered to modify older P320s for free, but some of these lawsuits allege the same thing happened with the newer versions.
So are these only police-issued handguns, or are they readily available to the public?
They are readily available to the public, but when I was calling around to gun stores, we did find that a lot of these gun stores have stopped selling them, and also these shooting ranges have also stopped allowing them to be shot at their facilities because of safety concerns. SIG Sauer tells me it's just a knee-jerk reaction to some of the false claims that are out there.
Yeah, we'll see if they really do drop the weapon. All right, thank you.